Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Delighted to be joined tonight by the interim president of the University of Nebraska, Chris Kabourek. Always good to see you. Thank you for coming in.
Great to see you. Great to be here, Craig.
March is over. What a fun March, though. I mean, we had the K-State win in the three-point contest. Coach Hoiberg and Coach Williams both get contract extensions. Big thoughts. You're kind of put a bow on basketball for us, if you would.
So, as a former youth coach, you never define your success based on one game, but you look at what you accomplished over the season, and what you just said, amazing year for both men's and women's basketball. Really, really proud of the student athletes and Coach Williams and Coach Hoiberg and on everything they did. And if I look back at the entire season, the men beating Purdue, the women beating Iowa, the run to March Madness. I still claim the women's final in the Big Ten in Minneapolis was one of the best sporting events I've ever been to. Just incredible. So, why we didn't get the outcome we wanted in the tournament, really proud of both those programs and what they accomplished this season.
Well, we're certainly in a time of change with athletics. The hiring of Troy Dannen, and boy, he has hit the ground running. Can you kind of take us through the process of how you landed on Troy and just, what did all that look like?
Yeah, Greg, if you, hiring an AD was not on my bingo card when I accepted this interim president gig. So, like most of Husker Nation, I was in a bit of denial and shock when Trev told me he was moving on. And, I gave myself about an hour to absorb and go through all those emotions with that and just realize we're going to do what Nebraskans do. We're going to roll up our sleeves and get to work and find the next great leader. And so it was an interesting process. Athletics, the industry is just so much different than the rest of higher ed. And, we have several high-profile leadership searches going on right now, and from the president to other. And, every leadership search process is a little different. And some wanted to conflate the AD with the president. And I give our Board of Regents a lot of kudos for giving me the faith and authority to go make the hire if we were able to find the best person, because across the board of all of our programs, we've had such success, not only this year, but for sustained. And I know when there's a leadership transition and a point of turmoil, those coaches, those student athletes, they're getting calls from other institutions saying, hey, would you take up our call? So it was really important for me to provide some stability. So it was really important to move quickly, but not settle for a good candidate. And so the great thing is this was the easiest sell I think I've ever had. I mean, selling the Big Red End is a pretty easy job, Greg. I'm just really pleased, and Husker Nation should be pleased and proud of the brand reputation that we have across the country. And there was no shortage of interest from individuals who wanted to talk to us about the opportunity. But, one name consistently came to the top of my list. And, we were looking for somebody who obviously had great experience. A Midwest roots were a real nice plus. Having football experience at several levels in the NCAA was really important to me. And Troy's name always rose at the top. And so he was somebody we keyed on right away and had some really good discussions back and forth. But in real high-profile leadership searches like this, it's one thing to find a candidate where we think it's a good fit for both sides. You also have to make sure they're what I call movable. Family obligations, other things outside of the job that need to make sense for them. And luckily the stars all aligned. I'm a big destiny person. This all happened for a reason. And once Troy and I started talking, I knew he was the right fit, and just really, really pleased we were able to get it done as quickly as we were.
And we're visiting Chris Kabourek, interim president for the University of Nebraska. Troy's been on the job for a few weeks. The plate of an athletic director is always full. What are some things that maybe you and he have talked about that maybe are higher priority for him right now?
Yeah, the great thing about Troy is very evident once you meet him that this is not his first rodeo. 4 months ago, his football program was in the college championship, and so I was just been blown away about how he's only been here 2.5 weeks or so, but it feels like he's almost been here 2 years. I mean, he had just stepped in and got up to speed on all the issues, as you said, on an athletic director's plate. I knew he was the right guy. We signed our MOU around 4 in the morning when we got the deal done, and I asked him, I'm like, so when do you think you might start out here? And he didn't even hesitate. He's like, I'm starting today. If you can get me to Lincoln, I want to start today and start meeting our coaches and see Coach Rule and go to practice, and then I want to get to Memphis and support Fred and Corvallis and support Amy, and I just knew that was the kind of work ethic that Nebraskans would really embrace and rally around. And so he's not only sprinting, he's off like like a drag car race, sprinting down the line. So I think he's doing a lot of time spending with our head coaches, our staff, getting to know the issues they need to deal with. Obviously, the stadium project is a really important priority of the university, and so I want to give him the time and space to evaluate that project and bring his opinions and thoughts to that project. So there's no shortage of issues for him to be working on, but I can't be more than pleased on the job he's done so far.
You mentioned you wanted somebody that was up to speed on college football issues. How valuable was Matt Rural's opinion in some of this process? Absolutely
valuable. I can't thank Coach Rule enough for allowing me to pick his brain in terms of what he thought was important in an athletic director. I tried to get to as many coaches as I could. Given the process, I got to some, but probably not all of them. But if I put my CFO hat on, I understand football is a huge driver of our revenues, and so that was really important. And so to have Matt comfortable with this selection was really important to me. So, and Coach Rule was amazing. I don't sleep a whole lot, but I think he sleeps even less than me, because I could call him at almost any hour of the day or night or early morning, and he would pick up my phone call. So we had a lot of good conversations about ideas, things he thinks we should look for, things like that. And not just football, but Troy checks a lot of those boxes. I mean, he's been on several NCAA committees. He's well connected throughout the community, which is really small at the end of the day. But just the cherry on top was he's been in the Big Ten room. He knows all those players. He's going to walk right in and represent the Big End for Nebraska in those conversations with our Big Ten partners. And as you know, we're having some really significant, important discussions in terms of what the future of college athletics looks like. So he just checked a lot of boxes, and he's doing a great job so far.
Well, Chris, we have about 5-6 weeks left of the semester. We've been noticing young people been out getting their graduation pictures taken out here by the stadium. This is a pretty popular spot. That won't be far off, but it's this is an important time to be a student right now to finish off the semester.
It is. It's kind of that great time. The weather's starting to finally warm up. We were just talking about playing cold baseball and softball and how that's not always fun, or track and field. And so it's good to see the weather making a turn. I'm really excited about the start all of our spring programs have had. Just really fantastic, and looking really excited to see how they finish up their season. But yeah, just excited for our students. We're going to have graduation here in a few weeks, right in the stadium here, and that's always a big highlight, not only for us, but our students and our families. So just wishing our students to stay strong and get it done. And, but the job never ends. We're much like athletics. We're recruiting students for the next fall semester. We're trying to get our students through this semester. We have a board meeting next week with some important issues on the item. So no shortage of issues to deal with, but it's all exciting and a lot of fun.
Be Chancellor Bennett's first graduation in the stadium for him. I'm sure he's excited for that.
I think he's really, really excited.
Very good. Chris, always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much. Continued success.
My pleasure, Greg. Thank you.
Chris Kabourek, Interim President for the University of Nebraska, with us here on Sports Audio. Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Back to wrap up the hour next.